Man, so that's that, eh? I honestly did not think I was gonna be sitting here making a video about the Detroit Red Wings and the New York Rangers game. I have both games, the Montreal game and the Detroit game, on my dual monitor setup over here, and I was kind of bouncing back and forth, 50-50, divvying up my attention. However, I will say, because the Canadiens game is a lot more competitive and close, I was paying more attention to that. I was listening to the audio of that one. We'll talk about that game in another video later in today's show, but I wanted to talk about the Rangers and the Red Wings in this video, because the Wings ended up just totally getting outclassed. And I hate to say it, I know there were some opportunities, I know they had chances to really take control of this game, but at the end of the day, this team, they were just not good enough to overtake a Rangers team that has been that good. They're faster, their goaltending was better, they won more faceoffs, and they just converted on their chances. This was a challenging game for Detroit, and I think at the end of the day, all you can do is really just say, hey, it's a better team. Straight up. Let's get into the goals now. I guess we can start off with that front here. First goal of the game scored by Alexis Lafreniere, and it's a really good play here out in front. Zach Jones with a really nice play in the neutral zone to take the puck away, and he ends up sending it up to Artemi Panarin, crosses back into the Red Wing zone. He sends a pass back over to the side, and it's a one-time chance by Lafreniere. Beautiful play. Alex Lyon bit hard on the fake Panarin shot down the middle, and Alexis Lafreniere is able to bury it. 1-0 New York, halfway through the first. Now, the Wings end up actually tying the game in the last 2 seconds of this first period, and it's a really beautiful play too. Guess who it is? It's Patrick Kane who throws it over to none other than Justin Holl. Yeah, that's right. Justin Holl on the blue line steps in, walks right down the right wing, and then throws it back out in front to Dylan Larkin after he crosses the goal line. That might be the best play we have seen out of Justin Holl in a Red Wings uniform. He comes back into the lineup today, Jeff Petrie is out, and he decides to set up Larkin for a really nice one-timer out in front. Tie game, 1-1 in the final 2 seconds of the first period, but after that, the Wings just weren't able to get anything else. They had shots, that's true. 14 shots in the second and 9 shots in the third, but they just could not beat Igor Shesterkin. Meanwhile, the Rangers had themselves extra goal support, scored firstly by Chris Kreider, power play out in front at the start of the second period. It's a tip play, you know, Zibanejad's on the left side, he takes the shot, Kreids is right there for the tip out in front. Not surprising, that kind of goal goes in all the time for New York. And then in the third period, there were 2 more goals, Riley Smith with the snapshot off the faceoff, and then the empty net goal by Mika Zibanejad. It was kind of depressing, honestly, demoralizing in a way, to see the Rangers take on the Detroit Red Wings when the Wings had the empty net, and see New York just control the play. Like, they were holding on to it, they were passing it around, they're shorthanded technically, 6-on-5, yet they still were able to just crisply pitter-patter, tic-tac-toe, pass it right into the Red Wing zone and eventually find themselves the empty net goal. And I'm sort of conflicted in the way I want to talk about this, because while it's true the Wings completely lost, like, I think it's very fair to say that from this game, the Rangers were the better team, but at the same time, Detroit did have chances. If Detroit played off against any other goaltender, you could probably bet that they would have had a lot more offense go in. The deserve-to-win-o-meter is slightly at the 50-50 range, after all. Like, it was an even game in terms of the opportunities that were given to both teams. It's just New York capitalized, Detroit didn't. And you can chalk up to why that is, what Detroit was lacking in this game to fully make up for the deficiency in goaltending. Alex Lyon, the goal that was scored in the third period, the first one that is, Riley Smith, definitely not one that Lyon would like to have on his resume. He would certainly want that one back. I saw a lot of Wings fans complaining about Lyon in this game. Oh, Igor Shesterkin's making all these saves. Lyon can't buy a save. They should have started Talbot, etc., etc. I don't necessarily think that goaltending was the issue per se, but I do think it's fair to say that goaltending might have been the difference in this game, because Igor versus Lyon in this matchup was certainly not equal, and if you try to map out the saves and the quality of the saves that both of these guys had, yeah, it was just a completely different territory there. No wonder the Red Wings were interested in grabbing themselves Igor Shesterkin in some sort of a trade, right? Everybody's talking about face-offs too, everybody's talking about which names deserve to be in this roster and which ones don't. Face-offs, they gotta get better at winning face-offs, man. Like, oy oy oy. The face-off percentage in this game, if you wanted to tail the tape here, 58% for New York, and if you go over to individual players, let's see, Red Wings face-off percentages. Andrew Kopp was 38.5 in the dot, not great. Dylan Larkin, 33.3 in the dot, not great. JT Compher, 45% in the dot. You know who was actually winning face-offs? Tyler Mott. He was 100%. Not to mention Rasmussen, 66%, and Joe Veleno was at 50%. This team and their top centers were not able to win draws to save their life, and it was very dictating as to what ended up going out there on the ice. Furthermore, you had yourselves the conversations about extra players. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about Jonatan Berggren, and to be fair, from this game alone, I would say he definitely struggled. He was getting kind of ragdolled out there a little bit. We know that at his best, he's a skilled guy. He controls the pace of play with his handles, and when he has the puck in his stick and he's given room, that's when he is at his most effective. But when he doesn't have the puck and he's being tossed around there, the Rangers were doing a really good job at just making him not effective at all. You have to start wondering, is this the guy that deserves to be in the lineup over a guy like Marco Kasper, for example, who's a lot faster, who's a lot quicker with his handles, and who just amps up the intensity of play with levels of dynamism that aren't really too present in some of the other bottom six guys. At the end of the day, though, this was a closer game than a 4-1 score would indicate, but it was one where still, the Wings, they straight up lost. And based off of those small differences, defensive zone breakdowns, defensive zone face-offs, and goaltending differentials, yeah, it's not surprising to see the Wings lose out on a game like this. Igor was Igor, and Alex Lyon did not bail out the team when he needed to. Not to say he didn't have any good saves. I mean, the Rangers had 28 shots on goal. So, still, Lyon had to make some stops in this one, but at the end of the day, this was just a demoralizing game, and I don't really know what else there is to say about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Detroit Red Wings and the New York Rangers game. New York takes it 4-1, and the Wings finish off a game where things are kind of, I don't know, uninspiring, demoralizing, depressing. I don't know, it's game 3 out of 82. So there's a lot of time here, and if Derek Lalonde is able to help this squad, this group of guys, work on some of these issues over the next few weeks, then we'll definitely see some improvements. It's just, we gotta wait a little bit to see that. So thoughts in the comment section below about Detroit versus New York. Who had a good game? Who had a bad game? Who do you want to see more out of? And what are your thoughts on some of the topics we had talked about here? What are your thoughts on the goaltending? Thoughts on the defensive faceoffs, as well as the Marco Kasper, Jonatan Berggren debate? It actually was talked about quite a lot in different parts of social media, so I wanted to bring it up here. Also, if you're a New York Rangers fan, sorry, I know it's kind of weird to watch a video where the person is only talking about the opposing team, but hey, the Rangers played pretty well, I would say. Igor is an absolute monster, and there were some other guys that impressed me a lot too. Artemi Panarin, the way he moves around the offensive zone. Not surprising that he's impressive, but him and Lafreniere work really well, so we'll see how exactly that works into the next few months here. But for now, thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.